The candidates for the Bachelor of Business Administration degree from the Tippie College of Business have gathered to celebrate commencement. All are in their places. These proceedings are hereby called to order. You may be seated. It is my personal and professional pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Tippie College of Business and Professor of Marketing, Dr. Sarah Fisher Gardiel.
And it is my pleasure. Good evening and welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Tippie College of Business and the University of Iowa, I would like to welcome all of you, graduating seniors, family members, friends, faculty, and staff of the college. All of us are here, and we're here to show you how very proud we are of you. This commencement allows us to honor your accomplishments. We come together to celebrate and reflect on an important milestone in the lives of these students, the completion of their undergraduate education. Today, many emotions fill this auditorium. For our graduates, these emotions probably range from excitement and anticipation to uncertainty and apprehension about the future. For parents and spouses, the range of emotions probably includes pride, and in some cases, I suspect, a profound sense of financial relief. Before we get started today, I would like to introduce our faculty and invited guests that have joined us today for this ceremony. Please stand as I introduce you on the platform. Nancy Abrams, Associate Professor of Practice and Marketing. That was awesome. Ken Brown, Associate Dean of the Undergraduate Program. Dr. Thomas Barry Stozel, Associate Professor of Finance and Faculty Director of the Vaughn Institute. John Solo, Professor and Department Executive Officer of Economics. Melissa Shivers, Vice President for Student Life. Michael Mahoney, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Boston Scientific. Beth Livingston, Assistant Professor of Management and Entrepreneurship. Jeff Ullman, Associate Professor and Co-Director of Undergraduate Studies in Business Analytics. And Joyce Berg, Professor of Accounting and Director of the Iowa Electronic Markets. We have several faculty that are serving as marshals in our ceremony today, and I would like to acknowledge them. Beth Bellman, a lecturer in management and entrepreneurship. Beth, where are you? There you go. Thank you. Michael Colbert, Associate Professor of Practice and Co-Director of Undergraduate Studies for Business Analytics. Thank you, Michael. Christy Gleason, Professor of Accounting and Henry B. Tippie Research Fellow. Jennifer Furman, Associate Professor of Instruction and Director of Undergraduate Studies for Economics. John Garfinkel, Henry B. Tippie Research Professor of Finance. And Tom Walsh, Associate Professor of Practice and Director of Undergraduate Studies in Marketing. I think marketing wins today. I don't know why. Okay. Thank you for joining us today, all of you faculty. I would also like to give special thanks and recognition to the members of the Iowa Brass Quintet, including Amy Schindel, Evan Fowler, Caitlin Halbert, Todd Schindel, and John Manning. Thank you for our music today. These proceedings will be interpreted by Scotty Van Eisingham, and we thank her for her services today as well. Now, I would like for you to turn your attention to the video screens in the arena for a special presentation titled Celebrating Iowa.
Iowa is unlike any other place I've ever been to. Everyone has a story here.
It inspired me and changed the way I think, even to this day.
Very special things.
There's such a good environment for collaboration and learning. I want to make sure wherever I end up next has the same sort of thing.
I was fortunate enough to find my passion while I was at Iowa. I hope other students do as well.
Everybody here at the University of Iowa wants to help you succeed.
It made me feel confident that I could do about anything.
I'm really excited to begin applying what I've been learning the past 4 years.
Relationships are extremely important, and the friendships that I made here are endless.
What surprised me is how quickly I found myself referring to this place as home.
Being a Hawkeye, you take a lot of pride in the people around you and all the great things that they're doing, and you just know that you're a part of that group.
Go Hawks! Hey, go Hawks!
Even when I go home and visit my friends, I'm always in Iowa gear, and I think I've even rubbed off on my family because anytime they see Herky or anything related to Iowa, I always get a Snapchat or a text about it.
The classes that I took at Iowa really helped me find my path, and now I'm just excited to actually get on that path.
It's not just a moment in time where you're a Hawkeye, but it transcends generations.
You never really forget about Iowa, and Iowa never really forgets about you.
Once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye, and wherever you live, we still have that bond that brings us together.
Go Hawks. It is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Mike Mahoney. Mike is the Chief Executive Officer of Boston Scientific Corporation and Chairman of the company's Board of Directors. Boston Scientific is a global medical technology leader with approximately $10 billion in annual revenue, and they are in 125 countries. Under Mike's leadership, Boston Scientific is delivering on its mission to transform lives through innovative medical solutions that provide improved health for patients around the world. Mike has focused the company on addressing the needs of the evolving healthcare landscape by driving improvements in patient outcomes and increasing healthcare economic efficiency and access. Under his leadership, Boston Scientific has brought many transformational medical devices to the market while creating significant value for its shareholders. His career spans more than 25 years of success building market-leading medical devices. Previously, he was with the Medical Devices and Diagnostic Division of Johnson & Johnson, and prior to that at General Electric Medical Systems. Mike serves on the board of directors for Baxter International and the governor of Boston College CEO Club. Most importantly, he earned his BBA in finance right here at the University of Iowa and his MBA from Wake Forest University. He is married and has 3 children. Thank you, Mike, for coming and honoring us today.
Apologies for the longest bio in Iowa history right there, I should have shortened it up for you. Thank you very much, Dean Gardiel, and hello to my fellow Hawkeyes. It's an absolute honor and a true privilege to be back in Iowa City on this really special day. And congratulations to all the students. You worked super hard to get here, and you deserve to celebrate with your friends and family. And also, congratulations to the friends and parents, a few of whom I've had the pleasure to graduate with, albeit about 3 decades ago. So in my brief comments, I want to share 3 things. A few reflections from my time on this campus, some thoughts on career journeys that hopefully will help you, and a few tips to consider as you embark on your new and exciting career ahead of you. So my wife Julie and I were blessed with 3 wonderful kids, similar age to you, and I often spend a lot of time with our new hires, some of them Iowa grads. So based on that, I'm partially qualified to be your commencement speaker today. First of all, I think you are absolutely graduating from a fabulous school with a reputation of academic excellence, amazing school spirit, and incredibly strong values. And now when I reflect back, I've been here all day today, when I reflect back on my time at Iowa, it's clear that many things are similar, many great things are similar, but also some many positive differences that you helped create and experience in your time at campus. So I moved in the picturesque Burge dormitory in the summer of 1983. And my friends and I, we cherished all things Hawkeye related, but we listened to Bohemian Rhapsody on cassette tapes. We ate 100% carb meals in the cafeterias. We donated blood for money. And importantly, we spoke to our parents every few weeks via payphone. So today it's nice to see that Burge is still thriving, and you clearly cherish all things Hawkeye related, but you watch Bohemian Rhapsody on Netflix, you listen to Spotify, you embrace keto diets, bank with Venmo, and unfortunately, you probably received daily texts from your parents while you were here. But I can tell you, one of my favorite things about your class is that you absolutely care. You embrace inclusiveness, you participate in extracurricular activities, and you join the crowd of 70,000 and showed the world the compassion of the Iowa community at football games, which is really, really special. So I majored in finance. And like all of you sitting here today, we learned the critical building blocks of economics, accounting, and marketing. And we learned how to think and solve problems. And importantly, we learned how to balance our work, our play, and our studies to make it all work together. But we also dreamed and stressed a little bit about our unknown future careers. So as you graduate and maybe pack up tomorrow, I can tell you that the friendships that you have made on this campus and the experiences that you've had on this campus and the memories that you will take with you, they will last a lifetime. And they also will provide you an important foundation for your friendships and adventures to come. So now on to a few career topics. I would ask that you think about your career as a journey or perhaps a long cross-country run rather than a clear sprint to the finish line. It will be filled with unknowns, different terrain, and perhaps even other countries, good and bad bosses, setbacks and promotions, learnings, and many new friendships. It's also highly likely that your career will not be a straight road, and it will not likely occur at the speed that you might prefer. Nor will your career have the clarity you have become accustomed to, like the annual scheduling of classes and summer jobs throughout high school and college. So you're moving forward without a perfect roadmap, but I can tell you this is the exciting part, and being Hawkeyes, you're very well trained and you're ready to begin. So some of you, the lucky ones, may already have jobs lined up and you know exactly what you want to do, but many of you likely do not. You're probably unsure about your career path and feeling a bit anxious about what lies ahead. So I can tell you to breathe easy. I was 1,000% in your shoes. So today I am blessed to lead Boston Scientific Corporation. We're a global leading med tech company. We make products that help patients. About 30 million patients per year are impacted. We work in over 125 countries. And in being in healthcare means there's always new challenges and exciting opportunities. But most importantly, I love our mission of advancing science for life, working with incredible people and knowing there's a higher purpose to what we do. However, maybe this will help, I can tell you that my career journey did not get off to a blazing start. So during my second semester senior year, I think I interviewed for 7 different jobs on campus. 0 for 7. Zippo. Didn't win any of them. My GPA and relevant work experience were not particularly distinguished at the time. But after graduation, I decided that I want to get into healthcare, and working in sales at GE Medical was my goal. However, I quickly learned that GE was less enthusiastic about my plans, and knowing that I needed 2 years of sales experience, I landed a job at NCR Corporation selling cash registers, door to door to restaurants and hotels in northern Indiana. Also had the real pleasure of living in La Quinta Inn for 6 months. So this was far from the prestige of consulting, tax, or banking in New York City, Chicago, or Des Moines, where some of my friends moved on to. But I worked hard, learned a lot, exceeded most of my targets, and probably most importantly, I kept knocking in the door at GE Healthcare, and after 24 months, they finally gave me a chance, and I received a job there. So I've worked in healthcare ever since, taken numerous different paths, and learned a lot along the way, with different experiences, locations, and companies. So looking back, I can say without a doubt that I did not have a clear roadmap for my career. What I did was focus on delivering strong results, be a team player, embrace challenging assignments, never stop learning, and lastly, I was confident enough to take a few risks in my career. So as all of you prepare for your own career journey, I'll give you maybe a couple tips to consider along the way. So the first one is to consistently deliver results above and beyond expectations. So no matter what your very first job is, do it incredibly well. Go above and beyond, work collaboratively with your teammates, and importantly, be an optimist. Be an energy giver to the organization and not an energy sucker to the organization. Because when you perform well and energize others, people will want to pull you up across the company. And when that happens, you'll gain more confidence individually. So you may not love your first job or your second job, but if you do them extremely well, you will earn the right to explore the next opportunity. So the second thing I consider is try to align your work with something that you can develop a passion for and be happy doing. So hard work over the long haul definitely takes happiness. But I say develop a passion because the common advice of finding your passion usually doesn't work. So for most people, it doesn't just strike you the day you graduate and suddenly becomes crystal clear. And sometimes your passion may be in the form of a hobby or something outside of work. But you must work hard to accomplish something special, and you will work a lot harder when you actually enjoy what you're doing. So I think the secret here is to develop a passion is being curious and investing your time and energy in learning. So please push yourself after graduation to continue to grow, develop experience, and find out what interests you the most. The third thing I'd consider you to do is to pursue challenging, unique, or the difficult turnaround assignments in the company that you choose. And view these as great opportunities, not as challenges or a weak assignment. So see these challenges as a way to stretch and differentiate your team and yourself. And please take some risk in your career, particularly early in your career, and assume that change will be a constant. And lastly, wherever this cross-country run takes you, remember that your relationships absolutely matter. You cannot have too many friends. You cannot do too much for other people. You can't be too thoughtful. You cannot say thank you too many times, even to your parents, via text, tweet, or some new app. And the last thing, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank you. I really believe that your generation is amazing, and the world needs you now more than ever. My generation and previous generations are learning from you. You're smart, you're ambitious, you're diverse, you're open-minded, inclusive, and caring. Please, though, just once in a while, put the phone down. Once in a while. So enjoy your cross-country run. Good luck to each and every one. Let's go Hawkeyes.
Thank you, Mike, for your inspiring remarks. From 0-7 here at Iowa to chair of one of the world's leading corporations, you inspire all of us. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce today's student speaker, Xin-Yi Ong. A native of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Xin-Yi is graduating with a BBA degree in finance and in business analytics. At the University of Iowa, she served as the treasurer and then vice president of the Malaysian Student Society. Xin-Yi also participated in Tippie's International Buddies program and volunteers at the Iowa City Animal Shelter in her free time. She plans to work in the U.S. corporate finance sector before returning to Malaysia and is joined today by her parents, Shuk Leong Tan and Nyan Hup Ong.
Thank you, Dean Brown, for the kind words. A very warm welcome to parents, teachers, and my fellow graduates. Today, we stand tall with our heads held high as we finally graduate and get ready to embark on our journey to live life to the fullest. To start with, here's a question I asked myself 5 years ago. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I remember before coming to Iowa, how people were asking me if I was sure Iowa was the place I wanted to be. They asked, why Iowa? All I've ever heard about Iowa was its massive cornfields. Are you sure that's the place you want to be? I didn't know what to expect and said, yeah, the university is at a pretty good standing worldwide, so why not give it a shot? With that, I journeyed across oceans, transiting through Korea and Chicago. And 28 hours later, here I was at Iowa. And the people were right. The first thing I saw were cornfields. Within a few weeks of arriving, after attending the orientation program, I had about everything set up to begin my journey here. Classes started off easy. Second week came by, and I was starting to feel the workload. Third week, I was packed with assignments and quizzes, on top of having to get used to the new environment and new responsibilities. I was overwhelmed by everything around me, and it didn't help that I was a long way from home. Every week, I would still call my mom to assure her that I was fine. But in reality, I was stressed about my grades and about figuring out my career path. I was sinking downward, but I was lucky enough to have people around me to guide and support me through my anxiety. Advisors from the Pomeranz Career Center assured me that most people start off not knowing what they want to do, and this was the perfect time to figure it out. I discovered business analytics and finance sparked my interest. The takeaway message was to take one day at a time. Slowly but surely, you eventually reach the finish line. Meeting people here played a big role in making my Iowa experience unforgettable. That first semester, I started working at the IMU as a cold food cook because I thought of it as a way to earn extra pocket money. When I saw my supervisor, Mark, I remember thinking, well, he looks nice, and I suppose I can learn how to cook here. So why not work 8 hours a week and see how things go? Little did I know that working in that kitchen would teach me how to socialize with people, to work in teams, and have a better sense of time management and accountability. Little did I know that Mark would be the one to help me land an internship here. Apparently, Mark liked my work attitude and put in a good word for me when recruiters called him up. And so, I was given a chance to intern under the portfolio management team at Aegon Asset Management. Through this experience, I realized that we have nothing to lose by putting ourselves out there to meet new people. And among the many people we will meet in our lives, we just never know who will be the ones to help us along the way. I had known that getting an internship would fulfill the Tippie Rise requirement, and I was really excited to be given a shot at this portfolio management internship. Because honestly speaking, I messed up my phone interview. The question that caught me off guard was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? My mind had gone blank, and I said, I see myself working in a portfolio management office from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The interviewer laughed. I was so disappointed with myself and thought that I had lost such a great opportunity. A week later, I got a phone call to go for the second round interview. And this time, I prepared ahead of time, and I got it. I learned so much from everyone at the company, about people's job scopes, about having mutual respect, and about being adaptable to sudden changes. Through this internship, I realized the importance of portraying self-confidence and paying attention to even the tiniest detail, because your work reflects the kind of person you are. Just like how Tippie holds its students to a higher standard in getting us ready for the working world. All of us here, parents, students, and teachers, have come a long way to see us graduates through this little part of our journey in life. And I'm sure it's the ups and downs in this journey that makes this experience so meaningful to us. To answer myself from 5 years ago, here I am now, standing before all of you as a confident individual. And I have the Tippie College of Business and my bosses, Mark, Tim, Jordan, and Andy, to thank. If it were not for the RISE requirement, I would not have had the opportunity to actually know and experience the culture here. If it weren't for lecturers such as Larry Cook, Hal Larson, and Todd Hoke, who take out the time to meet and respond to you even on weekends, I wouldn't be standing here graduating today. Looking back at my 5 years, I really am amazed by the inclusivity in Iowa, be it in the kitchen, office, or even in class. Everyone was just so open to sharing their knowledge and giving guidance to someone they barely knew. And I believe that was the essence of my Iowa experience. I can now proudly tell everyone that I chose Iowa because of its people. And I believe that all of us graduating today can attest to this when I say that never in our lives have we ever been prouder to be part of the Hawkeye family, to call ourselves Hawkeyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Sinyi. At this time, we would like to recognize students for their honors and achievement. Each year, Delta Sigma Pi awards the scholarship key to the graduating senior with the highest grade point average. This year's award is presented to Cole Grossman, who is receiving a BBA in Finance and Accounting. Congratulations, Cole. The Tippie College of Business awards degrees with highest distinction to students in the highest 2% of the graduating class, with high distinction to students in the next 3%, and with distinction to students in the next highest 5%. Distinction is designated by gold stars worn on the left sleeve. 3 stars indicate graduation with highest distinction, 2 with high distinction, and 1 with distinction. As I call each group of students, please rise to be recognized. Parents and friends and family, I would ask that you hold your applause until all the students graduating with distinction have been recognized. Will those graduating with highest distinction please stand? Will those graduating with high distinction please stand? And would those graduating with distinction please stand? Please join me in congratulating these students. They will also be recognized individually during the presentation of the graduates. Membership in Beta Gamma Sigma is the highest recognition a business student can earn. To be eligible for membership, students' individual academic ranking must place them in the upper 10% of the junior class or in the upper 10% of the senior class. Students graduating as members of Beta Gamma Sigma wear royal blue and gold cordons draped over their shoulders. Would the students graduating as members of Beta Gamma Sigma please stand? Congratulations. We would also like to recognize the students who are graduating in the Tippie College of Business with honors. Students graduate with honors in their major by achieving a 3.50 grade point average and writing a thesis relevant to their academic interest or major. Students may also graduate with university honors by completing 12 semester hours of honors coursework and undertaking significant hands-on learning experiences, including research, study abroad, and internships. Students graduating with honors wear white cordons draped over their shoulders, and they will be recognized as well during the presentation of the graduates. Will those students graduating with honors please stand? Congratulations. This year, we also recognize students who undertook multiple hands-on learning experience through our Tippie Rise program. Those students are named in the insert in your commencement program. Thank you.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration please rise? Vice President Shivers, these candidates have completed the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration and are recommended to you by the faculty of the Tippie College of Business for the conferring of the degree.
On recommendation of the faculty of the Tippie College of Business, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree Bachelor of Business Administration as qualified and designated.
Will the graduates please be seated? Dr. Ken Brown, Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs and Professor of Management and Entrepreneurship, along with Dr. Joyce Berg, Professor of Accounting, will now recognize the graduates individually. Will the marshals please begin leading the graduates forward to be recognized?
Wherever you want to be. Just don't mark me when I get it wrong.
Okay.
You'll be able to see it on her face. Mark Deming. Danielle Fry.
Jason Schoenick.
Ryan Conrad.
Sydney Winchus.
Andrew Diallo.
Reese Veeder.
Norvin Anaruba.
Zoe Mia Stelina Zachin.
Alec Norman Bouchard.
Shannon Peterson.
Eric Anderson.
Mo Zhang.
Michael Berg.
Ching Zhao.
Heather M. Cook.
Drake Stanberry.
Sarah Sales Francisco, Honors in Marketing with University Honors with Distinction.
Grant Walter.
Austin Bachman.
James Schrader.
Hassan Ali.
Daniel Andrew Tolas.
Cole Michael Grossman with highest distinction.
Ryan Nicholas Schmidt.
Sinyi Ung.
Alec Schultz with high distinction.
Chao Chen.
Jake Jeffrey Donald.
Mingchuan Tsai.
Dylan Schrader.
Jiayi Chong.
Michelle Simus.
Yanran Cheng.
Mariah Ann Walsh with highest distinction.
Xion Chen.
Travis Filchin.
Jordan Allen with distinction.
Tyler Simpson.
Jaden Carey.
Ryan Williams.
Amanda Kylie Austin.
Mengmo Zhou.
Molly Brennan.
Fabiola Santana.
Patrick John Ergostillo.
Hayden Schultz.
John Declan Donahue.
Ryan Jeffrey Smith.
Samuel Douglas Knuth.
Bailey Margaret Upena.
Owen O'Leary.
Taija Rakeo Wise.
Andrew Hughes.
Jessica Nicole Schultz with high distinction and university honors.
Jake Amundsen.
Vasudhara Srivastava.
Ian Eklund.
Haley K. Smith.
Jason Thomas Brown with university honors.
Marissa Marshall.
Joseph Dicio.
Rachel Palmer.
Griffin William Trout.
Katerina Nessick.
Melissa McIlon.
Jacqueline Grace Walters.
Abby Haynes with honors in marketing with university honors with highest distinction.
Michael Scott Anderson.
Nicholas Barrigo.
Nathan Polishak.
Caden Crandall with highest distinction.
Nicholas James Newsome.
Sarah Boltzma.
John Garrity.
Lindsay Wessel.
Jacob Schiltz.
Whitney Fuller.
Joshua Malik.
Kristen Wright.
Ryan Suyek.
Taryn Feller.
Connor Riordan.
Jenna Elise DePino.
Thomas Joseph Lipinski.
Tara Bendre.
Caleb Van Zee.
Emily Ann Crossan.
Stephen Sukomel.
Kimberly Cortez.
Andrew Wilkinson.
Jacqueline Cornell.
William Albert Spencer.
Alexis Piper Budd.
Griffin Rosenboom.
Adam David Arthurs.
Austin Schaefer.
Joel Alberto Fernandez.
Addison Drake Skinner Stewart.
Robert Anthony Manso.
Reyes Zane Taylor Lee.
David Peter Jakowski.
Taylor Wolfkuhl.
Michael Jared Hillsman.
Courtney Trippon.
Daniel Dominic Pinelli.
Michelle Loren Uwat Vichikandi.
Andrew Fisher.
Colleen McGough.
Dylan Bong.
Chinyi Shi.
Jessica Fellmeyer.
Kathleen Ann Vineyard.
Ashley Boychek.
Dang Shufan.
Si Tsui.
Phoebe Zhang.
Richard L. Burleson.
Michael Sug.
Catherine Ruby Fry.
Daniel Thomas Vickers with distinction.
Savannah Elizabeth Ducher.
Tanner Stewart.
Samantha Margaret Beckman.
Zachary M. Sherman.
Stephanie Callahan.
Kevin Schmidt.
Colin Burns.
Rachel Worth.
Elizabeth Ann Blodgett.
Abigail Joy Workman.
Paige Marie Gibson with high distinction.
Jacob Unmuck.
Jacqueline Danover, honors in accounting with distinction.
Elena Sciortino.
Megan Bolkin.
Christopher John Hanton.
Anthony Robert Wild.
Wayne Mock.
Sean Dong.
Mystic Henningsen.
Yongfan Duong.
Alyssa Megan Tracy with university honors.
Xiao Fu.
Haley Schulte.
Riley Quick.
Madeline Darlene Thomas with distinction.
Tessa Marie Engen.
Samuel Salkfleet.
Leah Lorenz.
Jacob Strauss.
Sarah Mercedes Krominga.
Haley Marilyn Vlahos.
Lane Acree.
Chifan Yang.
Andrew James Cerny.
Jinyan Yu.
Stephen Dixon.
Mengyu Zhang.
Mackenzie Lynn Fuller with university honors.
Chiglin Yang.
Anna Elizabeth Dirth.
Runchin Wang.
Olivia Dieschberg, Honors in Management with University Honors.
Xiaoyu Zhang.
Chenyu Zhao.
John Neary.
Javier Sandoval.
Mitchell Sitzman. Caleb Wilson.
Tashaylin Monet Harrington.
Ryan Christopher Vogesser.
Cameron DiBiaso.
Drew Allen Smith with highest distinction.
Andrew Campbell Guth.
Chiyi Su.
Carter Busey.
Erica Vavracek.
John Joseph Dzansky.
Taylor Lynn Van Blaricom with high distinction.
Emmett Corrigan.
Yuling Zhang.
Logan Drake with University Honors with highest distinction.
Hannah Marie Dabrowski.
Alexander Robert Duff with high distinction.
Madison Scott.
Bailey Fellenzer.
Elizabeth Lannon.
Alec Gaffin.
Nicole Zlaklikova.
Samuel Kryl.
Shelby Vroman.
Ryan Boots.
Matthew Sadler.
Kevin Fuchs.
Ethan Altmeyer.
River Dunn.
Brian John Eck.
Donald Bonavolato.
Mark Newman.
John Karstensen.
Brian Esterquest with distinction.
Alexis Higley.
Hewitt Walsh.
Brooke Elizabeth Davis.
Parker Steffen.
Rachel Gage.
Ariel Turak.
Anthony S. Bongiorno Jr.
Ziyin Ma.
Jean-Marie Agnes DeFestano.
Xiaohan Wang.
Jack Callahan.
Rong Zhou.
Daniel Aaron Bly.
Yuan Sui.
Matthew James Hanson.
Yao Luo.
Clint Andrew Babowski.
Litao Qian.
Stephen Frederick Fastnacht.
Xiezheng Zhang.
Kira Dominguez.
Changbo Yu.
Gabriella Taylor Benfelt.
Matthew Aaron Clippert.
Corey Nolan Carlson.
Jacob James Kinnitz.
Zachary Andrew Curtis with distinction.
William Arthur.
Connor Kenneth Bunt.
Carly Rose Johnson.
Casey Flynn.
Quentin Storm.
Okay. Julian Paul Ampey.
Louis Vanderwall.
Kyle Evan Davis.
Tenku Ayla Tenku Mod.
Cindy Chen.
Sarah Nicole Sapp.
Stephanie Lee Cho.
Alexis Tudor with University Honors.
Helen Choi.
Olivia Marie Tassler.
Travis Allen Graff.
Carrie Turner.
Tristan Nathan Donald Coldrake.
Taylin Lane Sauerbrei.
Garrett Culligan.
Molly Williams.
Alex Michael Burns.
Dongdong Zhang.
Thomas Joseph Fisher.
Faye John with high distinction.
Amy Keach.
Zachary Zoltani.
Jillian Connolly.
John Michael Walsh.
Quincy Vandermeulen.
Coy Christian Schneider with highest distinction.
Hannah Stendeba.
Gregory Spies.
Bailey Bravard.
Daniel Seek.
I'll make you wait. Take some time.
Logan Jeffrey Manders.
Samantha Marie Danielson.
Jinya Jason John.
Carson Christensen.
Rujing Xiang.
Colin O'Connell.
Yichin Wang.
Jacob Bernhard.
Yulei Shu.
Shayna Cohen.
Jihao Chow.
Natalie Marie Kenley.
Mohan Wang.
Madeline Dostal.
Chaojun Shi.
Suzanne Elaine Switzer.
Ting Zhang.
Peyton Kalo DeSalvo.
Xiao Yu.
Morgan Diesler.
Yichuan Zhang. Oh, right there.
Nicole Anderson with University Honors with high distinction.
Bibo Shi.
Ashley Mae Truwicki.
Qian Chen Chin.
Megan Hickson.
Ziquan Wang.
Emma Keefe with University Honors with distinction.
Rongkang Xiang.
Liliana Brown.
Yi Wu.
Rachel Inabnit.
Zach Wang.
Tyler Michael Franzen.
Tianyuan Zhang.
Jake Martin Fay.
Bo Zhou.
John August Russo.
Grant Slaubaugh.
Joseph Scott Bashi.
Haohui Yao.
Ian Michael Johnson.
Shangan Wang.
Adam Joseph Hobbs.
Yihui Wang. William Ungs.
Jake David McCann.
Jingbo Zhang.
Nicholas Downheimer.
Guoshui Wang.
Skylar T. Alberhaski.
Shifei Li.
Madeline Elizabeth Alberts.
Yan Zhang.
Brian Joseph DeSatko with distinction.
Yutang Yang.
Grant Mitchell Davidson.
Ranyi Zhou.
Doomer. Eric Robert Doomer.
Yingshuan Drew.
Joseph Evan Boris.
Zichu Wang.
Benjamin Andrew Ayers.
Xianzhao Xiao.
Tycho Falk.
Zhaoqi Wang.
Alexander Today Fisher with distinction.
Jordan Glotzer.
Jack Quarter.
Madeline Pokora.
Bryce Dunlap with distinction.
Justin Zymet.
Scott Thomas Hartzell.
Mengying Chu with distinction.
Zachary Corbin Clark.
Jihong Sun with distinction.
Kyle Matthew Dibus.
Jonan Wang.
Ashley Diedrich.
Muyao Chu.
Yifan Fang.
Qin Yu.
Thomas Robert Crum.
Zihan Chia.
Wyatt Jake Cannegeeter.
Yoon Chu.
Benjamin David Foreman.
Alec Shepard.
Michael DeBianchi.
Joseph Tomchuk.
Garrett Douglas Kuhn.
Eric Smith.
Christopher McHugh Coyne.
Trent Sikelski.
Alexis Garduno.
Huilin Zhang.
Zachary Bolgi.
Chihao Zhou.
Iji Ding.
Haofei Qian.
Konjae Ding.
Amber Leisinger. Christina Belen Ranslam.
Vincent Elkurti.
Cameron Douglas Sims.
Charles Zachary Kliegel.
Drake Bauer.
Kristen Haley Glesney.
Connor Patrick Micerney.
Ryan Franklin Hand.
Trevor McCann.
Spencer Holid.
Jacob Sloss.
Braden Gonsaski.
Kyle Robins.
Spencer Yanni Hall.
Kevin Perez.
Christian David Henderson.
Matthew Thomas Little.
Trevor John Jansma.
Mitchell Montgomery Merrick.
Thomas Hall.
Adam Alexander Miller.
Sidney Johnson.
John William O'Donnell.
Paul Hines.
Jiahao Lee.
Krishna B. Ganakota.
Hari Lai.
Koi Huang.
Jiancheng Liu.
Reese Allen Kilburn.
Tyler John McKay.
Dustin Gui.
Michaela Jane Humphrey.
Abby Suzanne Gaynor.
Adam O'Neill.
Connor James Gronsky.
Kenneth Menda. Natalie Rose McGovern.
Carly Gosh with University Honors with high distinction.
Alex McSimilak.
Jian Chong with University Honors with distinction.
Aaron Ligero.
Taylor Rose Carls.
Marcus Reiser.
Sam Goldsberry with high distinction.
Brandon Gates.
Robert Klasniski with highest distinction.
Alec John Weber.
Cole Grant Jackson with high distinction.
Brendan Patrick McGuire.
Sandeep Kantameni.
Jacob Rodriguez Ramirez.
Jackie Huang.
Alexander John Messer.
Brandon Scott Karoff.
Benjamin James Lorenz.
Quinn Hannah Michael.
Brendan Michael McCormick.
Michael Corrali with University Honors.
Zoe Metternich.
Jinyi Zhao.
Richard Turner.
Jinhao Chu.
Jeremy Brian Leander.
Aochang Lu.
Alex Nolan.
Yiqian Wu.
Timothy Arthur Pfeiffer.
Gonghan Hu.
Isabel Paige Olick.
Kevin William Hutt.
Jonathan Bakov.
Patrick Kaufman.
Mark Charles Grayeb.
Eduardo E. Gombois.
Cole McGill.
Gucci Gao.
Emily McGrover.
Wujian Ji.
Sean James McGuire.
Yan Hong Yi.
Daniel O'Malley.
Ifan Kong.
Jack McDevitt.
Strad Hotalker.
Julia Lumpy.
Dana Caitlin Griffin.
Elizabeth Grace Stom.
Autumn Marie Hagemaster.
Aubrey Larson with distinction.
Madeline Janis.
Jenna Pokorny.
Emily Edwards.
Maeve McGonigal.
Elisa Rose Hoffman.
Nathan Michael Maley.
Rayvon Herbert.
Mason McCune.
Christopher John Hartman.
Taylor Odekirk with distinction.
Claire Gullickson.
Jenny Nee.
Andrea Hager.
Kaylin Liu.
Gabriella Devora Corin.
Liwan Lee.
Christina Hui.
Hui Wen with University Honors.
Ellie Hoffmeyer, Honors in Marketing with University Honors with distinction.
Brendan Todd O'Connor.
Haley Calais.
Charles Ruff with University Honors and Honors in Business Analytics.
Peter Joseph Hadfield with distinction.
Chase Rourke with distinction and Honors in Finance.
Carter Buckholder.
Niall Rourke with distinction.
Lauren Ashley Hudson with Honors in Economics with University Honors.
Gaojo Lin.
Margaret Kaufman.
Yunchin Jocelyn Liu.
Samuel John Dayton.
Shannon O'Hara.
Abigail Gorshi with high distinction.
Jessica Lynn Larson.
Claire Keating.
Evan Mormon with high distinction.
Catherine McLaughlin.
Patrick McGee.
So it's
Keishel Merritt's Army.
Sarah Langholz.
Jintao Her.
Brooke Alexandra Harris.
Zoe Yi Chin.
Alec Edward Jackson.
Elizabeth Mead.
Andrew Jeffrey Joran.
Matthew Overstreet.
Faith Elizabeth Kramer.
Thomas Murfield.
Megan Elizabeth Gustafson.
Michael McManus.
Rebecca Severos.
Jinyang Lee.
Alexios Georges.
Kathy Nguyen.
Addison William Furry.
Chao Lee.
Dongyun Kim.
Sydney Ruglis with highest distinction.
Shin Jin.
Vaijunyati Moongala.
Mingjun Jiang.
Amanda Rostenbach.
Junji Huang.
Mariah Elizabeth Moore with distinction.
Wian He.
Kyle Lang.
Wu Hao.
Chinyi Lee with University Honors and Honors in Business Analytics and Information Systems.
Weihang Huang.
Xiaoming Lin with Honors in Finance, University Honors, and highest distinction.
Sean Liska.
Xian Pei.
Jack Kane.
Guinevere Ann Lapid Nueva Espana.
Matthew Allen Hayes.
Andrew John Mulligan.
Grant Campersher.
Dakota W. Miller.
Joseph Gordon.
Jarrett Kaler Purdy with University Honors and high distinction.
Morgan Elizabeth Hardiman.
Xiaoyua Ma.
Drake Shepard.
Alex John Luchowski.
Jeffrey Robert Duke.
Ivan Morales.
Kelsey Schmidt with highest distinction.
Xavier Medina.
Samantha Stuba with distinction.
Robert Melicott.
Tori Hungerer.
Bo Peng.
Maddie Lindquist.
Chinyoung Lee.
Holly Smazurski.
Robbie Nelson.
Jade Peterson.
Jake Radel.
Becca Meyer.
Alexander Xiang Hua Lian.
Sydney Howard.
Victoria Lynn Merritt.
Zoe Curley.
Nicholas Magini with high distinction.
Michael Aaron Hoffman.
Brandon Prather Huff.
Austin Lee Isaacs.
Bailey Rose Ann Oppelt.
Marina Nicole Callis.
Blair Logan.
Madeline Elizabeth Hartnett.
Yaoyun Liu.
Kaylee Shea Anderson.
Kianyu Ma.
Caitlin Keel.
Berther Mahama.
Catherine Ann Isles.
Wei Li.
Rachel Sierra Godwin.
Chunji Chu.
Caitlin Livingston.
Sasha Ron.
Amelia Finney.
Connor John Hounsel.
Madeline Bowman.
Madison Raker.
Lindsay Doty.
Landon Phelps.
Jason Charles Lowry with highest distinction.
John Wynn.
Christian Williams.
Megan Marie Murphy.
Adrian Chong.
Liam Hart McLaughlin.
Patrick William Follenkamp.
Megan Rachel Smith.
Catherine Mary Phillips with University Honors with high distinction.
Rachel Ross.
Andrea Palazzo.
Hannah Peak.
Kirsten Brenneman with highest distinction.
Jacob M. Lappin.
Alexandra Ryer.
Cole Luerman.
Emily Kwok.
Andrew Thomas Cook.
Heidi Hannenberg with high distinction.
Jackson Subert.
Julia Gary with distinction.
Brady Ross.
Jack Burns.
Joshua Hunter Klein with distinction.
Jackson Chase.
Grant Schneeberger.
Peter William Jefferson.
Isaac Thomas Schmidt with distinction.
Niall Scott Quadja.
Salvatore Maxfield Rizzo.
William David Gonzalez.
Nathan Schmidt.
Bradley Rum.
Rachel Thompson.
Robert Liam Gerstein.
Andre Stokes.
Samantha Ray Noonan.
Michael Shaw.
Oliver Rost.
Michael Von Estorff with distinction.
William Spooner.
Connor Schneider.
Okay, you got it.
Brent Segvich.
Noah Clausen.
Benjamin Earl Whitenick.
Michael Kemmer.
Youngjia Lee.
Matthew Mueller.
Jordan Lacerte.
Blake Bogenreef.
Sanad Bessick.
Jared James Kramer.
Adelaide Day Lee with distinction.
Luke Hansey.
Megan Donahoe.
Matthew Thomas Conway.
Christian Moore.
Devin Brooke Shores.
Joe Calateri.
Nicholas Corcoran.
Timothy James Fetters.
Nathan Charles Scurio.
Noah Heitsuzen.
Owen Daniel Vandervelden.
Jeremy Friedman with honors in finance, with university honors, and with distinction.
Brett Newstrom.
Casey Fernbach.
Taylor Jordow.
Shihang Chan.
Joseph Casano.
Nathan James Carl.
Deja Jimerson.
Yuying Chen.
Yu Hao.
Xiaoyin Chen with university honors.
Yuji Guo.
Mengting Fu.
Shan Gao. Chase Koshmeter with university honors with high distinction. Michael Monsoger. Juan Morales. Jonathan Langrud. Ethan Paul Becker. Jack Kelly. Christian Hoffbauer. Luke Tafe. David Viola. Jack Lyman Carter, Ben Brockman, Keegan Edward Finn, Adolfo Linares, Stephen Levine with high distinction, Samuel Kuhn, Brendan Maher, Evan Andrew Schmidt, Nicholas James Simone, Christina Spaeth, to last, Aval Suga.
From degree candidate to graduate. Will each of you now mark?
Thank you. Will each of you now mark your new status by turning the tassel of your cap from the right side to the left side? We congratulate each and every one of you.
Graduates, today marks a personal milestone in your lives. Since you arrived on campus, each of you have worked extremely hard toward a goal, and you have reached it today. Wearing your cap and gown, walking across the stage, and receiving your degree from the Tippie College of Business. As you made progress toward your degree, each year you faced many challenges, you made discoveries about yourself and others, and you grew into leaders who will make a difference in our communities. For those of you in the audience, we feel your pride with these individuals because you also should be proud of what you have done to help them accomplish your goals. Your guidance, your understanding, and your compassion and faith in their abilities, that has been critical to their success. For what you have done to help these graduates, we thank you. Thank the people out in the audience who helped you get here today, graduates. Special shout out to the moms as well. There you go. Okay, just a few thoughts and then we're done. As you graduate today, your mind is flooded with images and memories and emotions, yet as you leave the Tippie College of Business, you will take with you some powerful and positive attributes of your degree from the University of Iowa. The first is pride. Please know that you have received a degree from one of America's leading universities. As you enter the workplace, you will discover that what you have learned here at Iowa rivals the best business school education in this country. The second is work ethic. There is no substitute for hard work. As Tippie students, you demonstrated your work ethic daily. As graduates, take this ethic with you as you enter the next stage of life, and it will serve you very well. The third, I hope, is compassion. When your professional journey is over, remember that what really matters are the relationships that you develop and nurture, the people that you touch, and the lives that you affect. Remember those who helped you and influenced you and played a role in your success. We hope that in the years to come, you will remember fondly your time at the Tippie College and support this institution as generously as the alumni who came before you. We are so proud of the class of 2019. In addition to being talented academically, you demonstrated leadership, community spirit, and a global sensibility. You are indeed ready to be successful citizens of the world. This concludes today's commencement ceremony. I ask that everyone please remain seated for the recessional. The platform party will first exit, followed by the graduates. Congratulations.